Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that I'm actually online now. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and kick this off tonight. Make sure that I'm actually online and streaming and that everything's kind of working fine. I'm not seeing anything at the moment though. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So, I hope everyone is doing fine. Sorry, I have not been on for the past, really for the past couple weeks because, like I said, there was some kind of stuff going on at home. So, yeah, to make a long story short, basically, like there was an outbreak of COVID at my son's school. So, the kids had to kind of work from home, and the wife had to kind of stay home. So, like, I wasn't really able to do very much live streaming during the daytime because of sensitive information in the background, right? So kids names and company stuff. So because of that's why I haven't been online, continuing with what we were kind of doing before. And let me just check to make sure that this stream is going okay. Yep. So I'm checking right now. So that's why I haven't really been able to. You haven't really seen me online so much, or playing around, or continuing with the previous game project that we were working on, because basically with my kids had to stay home and had to kind of like work in my working space, for most of the day. So this I've just kind of been cleaning up some other projects from the end of last year. Actually, I'm trying to kind of finish everything, all of the other like little side jobs and side projects that I've kind of been working on, for the past for the past couple of years, because I really do kind of just want to focus on full-time game development, from this year, and that's like one of my main goals. So, this is going to be a kind of short stream, I think. So I didn't get a chance to stream anything for the past couple weeks, but, well, not really consistently for the past couple days. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I was kind of working on with the previous project. So, yeah, in the meantime, here's some of my character artwork from CDULO, The Outer Rim, the game that I'm currently working on for my Kickstarter, and that I will be planning to that I'm planning to release on Steam after this Kickstarter is successful. So yeah, I've got like a lot of different art style that I'm kind of like putting into this. Well, not a lot, just like a few different art styles. I want the cool looking character, then I want to do, but for the actual in-game character, that I'm thinking to use like kind of Japanese style chibi mode. Which I think will be pretty much easier to animate and kind of cute and easier to kind of sell products in Japan, because they kind of like that kind of stuff over here. But here are some alternative renditions of like the characters. So we kind of got like our little cool actual comic style, along with their chibi version. So if you're into that, please stop by my website, creativemv.com, and check to see what I've kind of got going on there. I am taking a break from this project at the moment because it's January. So, January is kind of like a busy time for me because like I do have my own company, and like I have to kind of get ready to start doing my company taxes, which is getting much easier now that they got the e-tax system, but it's still going to take me a little bit of time. So I can't really like focus so much on the main game. And I do have to kind of like work on my online store. I got to make some new products for that. So there's kind of, January is like usually slower than December, but still kind of busy for like typical beginning of the year stuff. So that's kind of why I'm working on this little side project. If you're interested in checking out what I've got so far, I want to thank Leonardi for being my second Patreon on Patreon. So if you're interested to know what I've kind of got going on so far, and looking at interested in my other projects, that includes my game projects, my comic book projects, and in my upcoming animation projects, then please stop by and support me on Patreon. Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and kind of get back into what we were doing before COVID wrecked my family. It's actually pretty interesting for the past couple weeks, because me and my older son, we were the only two that were kind of safe. The rest of everybody was kind of up and down with cold and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, I think with the Omicron variant, basically kind of everybody's going to get it. So I mean, like, at some point or another, if they haven't got it already. And it wasn't really so wild. It wasn't really so dangerous for us because I mean, just because I think of the environment that we're kind of in right now. But I do want everybody to take this shit seriously and be careful. Like, continue to wear your mask. Wash your hands and like use alcohol and like don't, like, just because it doesn't seem dangerous to you doesn't mean that it's not dangerous to other people. So like, take care of yourself and like be wary of the other people around you as well. All right. So, what we were doing last time, I think, actually, like, I haven't really been working on this game, but I've kind of been working on this game, like, in, like, when I had, like, a little bit of time. Just, because I don't want to have you guys sitting here, watching me, like, doing coding and fumbling around with that stuff. So I did knock out a little bit of the extra coding stuff, just to keep you guys, save you guys some time of watching me type, because I'm a slow coder, right? So what you're looking at, you're probably wondering what the hell this is. Well, what you're looking at is you're looking at a little bit of an updated version of what we were working on the last time. So I'll go ahead and give you a demo of that. And I know that you guys are getting tired of looking at squares on the screen. So, like, all I've got is, like, squares and circles. I know, like, most of you people are like, what the hell is this? This guy has no art skills. But actually, art is, like, one of my main areas. Like, I mean, well, I'm actually much better at it. So, I am getting tired of looking at these squares as well. So we're going to, like, kind of work on that tonight. But just to show you what I've got, we do have like a I instead of using this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this HP in the number system, and we're gonna use a slider bar, to represent the player's health. The player can run around the screen. The rare player can bump into stuff and pick it up. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the player right now just to like restart. And let's see, like I think I showed you the weapons that we have. So I did implement some weapons. So this one is like our player's little cannon. And so he's got a different variety of weapons that he can select. I did put a timer over here. So like now whenever you switch between attacks, it tells you what the attack actually is and what it does. And you get a countdown timer for how long you can use this particular attack. And like I said, I did put a few extra little surprises over here. So this one right here is a bomb, which we can kind of activate by clicking on it and then like kind of run away and then blow shit up over there. So that will allow our player to get access to other rooms where he can collect coins, which I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do with yet. But this is still kind of like a work in progress. So we have about 5 different attacks. Yeah, we have, no, 4 different attacks. We can pick up our key cards. We have enemies that can come and shoot at us. I did create a spawning system. So those are just a few of the things that I've kind of implemented in here. I was gonna implement a game controller, but I got lazy in the middle and like I started working on some stuff and like maybe looking at tax and immigration stuff, and I kind of forgot what I was working on. So I'll get back to that shit later. So. All right, and so yeah, we have quite a few things that have been updated here. However, like the main thing that I kind of want to do tonight is I want to like get out of the mode of looking just at this one screen, and like I want to go ahead and start kind of spicing this up a little bit. A lot of the background work has already been done for the actual core programming, and then we can just kind of add elements into it later. So, what we're going to work on tonight is we're going to try to get rid of some of these ugly ass graphics. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of this HP. We're just gonna go ahead into the UI and get rid of this HP label and well, not get rid of them, but we're going to go ahead and kind of comment them out. So kind of hide those and hide the HP text because we're not going to need to see that anymore. Why? Because I created a UI system, which sorry, not a UI system. I created a health bar for the player. So we're going to go ahead and move this health bar. Yeah, move this health bar up. So, got it kind of selected here. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag it up here, and that will be above our score. I'll probably resize this down a little bit. But we're also going to be working on the room and, working on the room and the graphics today because that's kind of what I really want to get into. And this coin just decided to, like, upgrade itself for some reason. I don't even know why he's hanging out over there. You're not promoted. Let me go find you. Um, so, yeah, this coin, he just got decided that he wanted a higher position. He wanted a better position in the hierarchy. Like, you get your happy ass back down here. Okay, yeah, we'll leave him like here for, well, not exactly there. It just kind of looks unbalanced. All right, so we'll just stick him right here for now, and then we'll like figure out what we're gonna do with it later. All right. So, anyways, let's go down here and let's start making this game a little bit prettier now that we've got all of the assets. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start hiding a lot of these elements that we're not going to need. We're going to keep them on the screen for right now because if you'll notice, I have not turned anything into a prefab. And I didn't want to do that until I had like a lot of the coding done for them, and I wanted to, and I was sure of the way that I kind of wanted them to operate. And then like we're just gonna like graphic swap it later, right? And I'm when I release a template for these are kind of the elements that you're going to get. You're going to get boxes, squares. You're not going to get any of my original art because I'm going to be selling that on my online store. Sorry. All right. So let's see. First thing that we're going to do is that's another thing. All right, I'll go ahead and hide these guys, which have already been prefab, so we can quickly like graphic swap these. So I'm gonna hide all of these at the moment. I'm not gonna delete them until like since they're already prefabs, I could go ahead and delete them, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. What the hell did this cursor click? Now I'm kind of curious. Oh, this thing I can get rid of, so I don't need this in the scene. Health pickup, keycard, yeah. So all of these things, and what's this, def square? Oh, the default square. I'll need to explain that. All right, so what I've been doing, with, graphics, you'll notice that I use a lot of squares. So, what I did at the very beginning, there's not really too many art elements in this at the moment. So what I did is I actually just used about four or five different basic elements. I have a circle, I have a square, I have a triangle, and I have like 2 rectangles that I've been using to do all of this, which is why you only see circles and squares and rectangles on the screen, because I'm freaking lazy. But when I start building out my levels and stuff like that, I'm basically going to be reusing these elements. So what I did is I created a prefab for all of these. So I have like a default circle. Ouch. Somebody just came into somebody just dropped in on me, I think. So I have a default circle, a default rectangle, a default square, a default triangle, and a default bottom aligned rectangle. And this is what we're going to be using to build most of our level stuff, right? So oh, hey, hi, Bad Cop. Thank you for following me. So yeah, it's good to see you. I'm not really gonna be typing so much in Twitch because like I have a hard time like coding and like so I'll be just commenting like verbally if you don't mind. Yeah, but these are what we're gonna be using to build our levels out. So circles, squares, and triangles and rectangles. Hello. All right, so let's see. Now let's get into it. Now I actually have somebody watching me, so I gotta get serious and shit. How are you doing tonight? Well, tonight or today. It's 9:43 p.m. in Tokyo right now. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting rid of hiding some of these, and then we'll call them back later if we need them. So the bomb pickups, I'm gonna hide the pickups. I'm gonna hide the key cards. Because we are not going to necessarily need to see those, and I'm going to hide the health pickup. What else am I going to hide? Let's see. The coins, yeah, I'll go ahead and hide the coin. The main coin, I guess. And let's see, UI. UI we don't necessarily need to see right now either. Oh, you're in San Francisco? Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like I used to live in San Diego when I was in the Navy. So, well, only for a little while though. Yeah, spikes. So yeah, all of the environment elements, like the walls and stuff like that, we're gonna keep them there for a reason. Let's see, range weapon pickup. So yeah, so the weapon pickups, we're gonna go ahead and hide those as well, right? And breakable boxes, destructible environments, so you get rid of that. And so yeah, I think we're just gonna kind of leave these up here at the moment. What is this guy? Oh, this is my flying enemy. Oh, I also created. I'll show you later. Uh, I did create. I threw in a lot of other stuff because I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do with this game. So like, we have like a dialogue screen, so we can actually do dialogue in here now. And I put like a little mini map for just no reason. So, so I'll demonstrate that later. But first, we have to get the scene looking a little bit better. All right, so I think this is going to be our starting point for tonight. You know, clearing off most of the elements. Actually, I'll probably get rid of this guy too. Hide this thing. So this was just like, you know, these little rotating blades. We don't need them in the scene at the moment. All right, and this is what we're going to start with. So, like now we're going to start shifting over to actually doing graphics for this game. So before we start doing the graphics, well, like we're going to want to do something with the background. And we're gonna want to kind of figure out the scale of the game. So right now, this is a little bitty tiny room that he's kind of running around in. So it doesn't look like he's got like much space or much breathing room, and it's gonna make a boring game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add another square. So here is where these default things come in. So like I'm just gonna drag my default square in here. And the reason I'm using these prefabs, number one, you'll notice that these things are like all white. Well, I'm doing that on purpose because that will allow me to kind of change the colors and the gradients, and well, change the colors as I need to, depending on which level. Also, this will help keep the memory of the game down because I'm going to keep on reusing the hell out of these elements. So I'm basically going to be trying to use one square for as much as possible for this whole entire game, right? So let's go ahead and get a little bit of get like a little bit creative with the perspective of this. And why are you not showing where you're supposed to show? All right, let's put this up to 1. Hold on. My default square is not showing where he needs to show. Why is that? Oh, sorry about that, guys. Delete. Yo. Okay, that's new. Let's see what happened with you. Okay, you're there. Huh. Okay, I haven't seen this one yet. So just in the at the very beginning of the tutorial, something popped up. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and delete this. All right, let's do this the old-fashioned way. That one shows up. What's wrong with the other guy? All right. Anyway, so like we're gonna bring this square here, and we're gonna use this first square for actually kind of getting an idea of the size of the level that we're gonna have, right? So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it down to 100 sorting layer. Sorry, drop the sorting layer down to 100. Oh, minus 100. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and, you know, normally you would just go ahead and center this out to 0, 0, 0. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scale this up now. And because I want to kind of figure out how much space do I kind of want the player to be able to run around in, right? Why are you scaling? All right. So this is going to be our kind of default kind of measurement area. All right, and if you'll notice, well, when I scale out, this does kind of look like a nice little room. Well, like, the question is, how many little rooms do we want to have? So, I'm thinking maybe about this wide at first. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because we're also going to have like some background elements, or actually some elements underneath it. So I'm going to be kind of changing the camera perspective on this as well. So we might set this to right around here, and then like maybe scale them out to maybe about what am I going to scale them out to on the X? I think maybe 20. Yeah. Okay, we'll go like 16 for now. So 16, and then ninth round 4 here. And we'll take this guy, and still kind of pissed that my other square didn't work after I went ahead and made him a prefab. And we're going to drag this over here. Alright, and we are going to kind of use the grid here a little bit. So, alright, cool. So this is actually going to be kind of like the size of our level at the moment. And so we have like, basically we have like one tiny little room in the middle of this like huge area. And I think I'm going to change this background square color to something a little bit dirty brown, maybe. Something like this, right? And I'm changing this color. Now, actually, we're going to do another overlay on this because, so the actual background will probably not be this color, but I'm just kind of doing this for a different reason at the moment. I'll show you what that is later. All right, so this is going to be our starting point, and this is our first room. Well, what I could do is, because this is going to be our first room, I might want to go ahead and kind of encapsulate all of this into like one thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of these room elements here, like all of these walls, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just going to highlight all of those. Highlight all of those. That means you too. Huh? Okay, well, I'll grab him later. And let's see. So we have these guys in the wall thing, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them on a different layer, right? So actually, I forgot I already like grouped these together. Haha. All right, so I'm gonna put these actually in a layer of their own. So, or make a. That's right. I'm in 2019. So hold on, let me create it empty, very quick. All right, and I'm gonna put like room 1. So room 1, that would have been the easier way for me to do it anyway. So I'll just like go ahead and create room 1 and then find my walls and just drag them in there. All right, and that will be like the default layout of our first little room that we're gonna make. All right, cool. All right, so now that we've got our like nice little first room, we can kind of just like drag this guy wherever we want to. Yay! All right. And what else are we going to put in here? So, now this might not, actually, with what I'm thinking with the storyline that I have thought of the storyline for this game. So what I'm thinking of with the storyline for this game is we might not necessarily, we're going to like separate everything into rooms, but they might not be like actual rooms. They might actually be like in the forest, or the environment might be a forest area or something like that. So I'm just calling them rooms for now because I'm lazy. Let's see, what else are we going to put in here? So pop-up dialogue, we're going to leave that out. The initial background square, I think we're going to go ahead put that BKG. Alright, we're going to leave that outside of the room. Pop-up dialogue, destruction, boost pads. Huh, I created boost pads for this AI obstacle. Yeah, AI obstacle, flying enemy, hidden guide, destructible walls. Okay, yeah, destructible walls should be in here as well. So the destructible walls are these little white squares that you've seen me put in here, the one that I just kind of blew up with the bomb. So yeah, destructible walls, they'll kind of go into my room as well. Spikes, yeah, we'll go ahead and put the spikes in here. So I'm just kind of deciding what default elements I want in my room or in my area. So these spikes can go in there, and then the rest of this stuff, for right now, I guess we could leave out. Enemies we're definitely gonna leave out, and stuff like UI and dialogue manager and stuff like that don't need to go in. Don't need to go in here. Cursor canvas. So any UI elements we're gonna leave out. Coins? Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and like drop the coins in too. So just kind of clean this up a little bit. Coin, 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 coin. That cursor thing is not necessary. And we're also going to go ahead and drop the pickups in there. Exit levels. Yeah, we're going to leave that. Drop that in the room. Bomb, breakable wall, stalking enemy. I'm still debating about whether I want to put the enemies inside the room. Hidden guy. I'll show you him later. AI obstacle, boost pads. We'll put the boost pads. AI obstacle, yeah, we'll go ahead and pop-up dialogues we can leave out. Destructible wall 2. Alright, we'll go ahead and drag these guys in. And this will like make it easier for when we're actually creating other rooms, because like everything, it'll help us. We'll just be able to copy this whole room and then just kind of rearrange it any way that we want. Let's see, call down pickups. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop the pickups in there as well. I was debating about that. And we'll go ahead and put the stalking enemy, sniper enemy, blitz enemy. We'll leave the flying enemy out. And the rotating blades. And I'll go ahead and drop this other stalking enemy. Spawn groups, we'll get to those in a little bit as well, because I did create a spawner for this. Alright, so we'll go ahead and drop all of these into a room. That had better have gone into my room 1. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and drop all of these in the room 1. Alright, so room 1. Alright, so there we go. So now when we collapse this, we'll notice that a lot of these didn't make it into the room because I was talking shit and not paying attention where I dropped this stuff. Alright. There was one guy I didn't want in here. Okay, yeah, there he is. Okay, you guys go into room 1. What? Okay, it doesn't want me to put that in there. And I know why. Okay. Well, anyway, the rooms are basically just going to be for, like, the layout anyway, so we can kind of come back to that later. It's not really so important, it's just something that I kind of wanted to do. There we go. Yeah, I thought I was trying to rearrange this, these rotating blades, which I wasn't, because I don't really care. But, alright, so there you go. Alright, there's our first room. So, now we can just kind of like, anything that we need to do, we can just kind of grab this whole room and like drag it around and scale it and stuff like that. And so spawn groups. I do have like some spawn groups that I have created. So I tend to indicate my spawn groups with these little dots here, you know. So I use different dots for, or different diamonds for different spawn groups. So normally if it's green, that's kind of like my aerial attack like spawn group, and this poor spawn group only have like one spawn, or 3 spawn points. Yeah, 3 spawn points over here. So the way that I created this spawn group, if you're interested, is I created a wave spawner script, but then like I have 2 wave spawner scripts. So this is the simple one. Part of my other. So here's my simple wave spawner script. So you can like just create some variables, and this is why I didn't do a lot. I typed a lot of this stuff out before I started, you know, before I got back into making the videos. So like this is a simple wave spawner. So this will be like your game object, your obstacle patterns, or whatever you want to call it. You'll need a float, a time that's a time between spawns. So like how much time the player will need to kind of wait until another enemy or object is spawned. You'll need a start time between spawns, which will be the initial time that the spawns can start. So that they don't. You can set it like for 0 if you wanted to start spawning immediately after the scene loads, or you can set it for 5 seconds. Just to give the player a little bit of breathing room. We've got decreased time, so how much the time decreases over a certain amount, between spawns, and then I have my minimum time for like the minimum time that I want creatures to be able to spawn. So most of this is done in a update function. So we've got time between spawns, which would be if it's if it's less than 0. Then it's just going to use this inter-random random range um, to kind of go through the spawn patterns that are in this array, or these enemies that are in this array, and like start spitting them out randomly so that you're not getting the same enemy over and over and over again. Which you can kind of like see here. So in this right now, I only have I have the same enemy in here. So because I have a size or like a range of 2 enemies that can be spawned from this green spawn point. And like I said, because I got lazy, I just put like the same enemy in here. But I could go through and this is the only enemy that I've created prefab of at the moment. But when I start creating more enemies, if I want flying enemies and like one flying enemy and one like ranged enemy, then I can actually do that here. All right, and this is my time between spawns and how much time, and the minimum time. So this is a simple one. Right now, because I'm trying to create objects that will kind of use, or like I guess game objects that will be usable for multiple tasks. So that's why I put 2 different wave spawners on this. So I have the simple one, and then I have the advanced wave spawner, which is the one that I'm actually using, and that gives me a lot more options. So, for example, how many spawn points, like if I want to have a boss or whatnot. So we'll get into that a little bit later once I actually start spawning enemies. Okay, so what else were we doing? Oh, all right. So we've got our room set up. We've got our spawn points. I think actually for the spawn points, I will drop them into the room as well. Yeah. So most of the stuff that we've got is going into the room. So there we go. All right, yeah, that looks good enough. Default background we're gonna leave out because like I said, we're gonna be creating different rooms in this space. So the reason why we created this room is simply because we want to be as quick and as lazy as possible when it comes to building our level. So actually if I need to make this bigger, then I can just kind of go over here and scale everything up, and here we have a bigger room. And if I want to make another room, then I can just go through and duplicate room 1 and go here, and now we have 2 rooms. Yay! And this is how we're going to quickly and lazily build our level out using this type of room architecture. And then once we have the rooms, once we have our size, our layout figured out, then we can start going in and actually manually manipulating, changing where the walls are, and adding whatever elements we want, right? So I'm gonna undo that because I don't want this to be too big. Now if you'll notice, we did not put the player inside of the room, and I did that on purpose because I need to see how much of a scale I want the player, how I want the rooms to scale to the player actually. And now that I think about it, that's probably a good reason why I left the coins out of shit. I didn't leave the coins out. Yeah. I kind of lost my train of thought. There are some things that you're going to want to leave outside of the room, and coins is one of them. So I'm going to take these coins out. Because when I scale the room, I don't want there's certain items that I don't want to scale with the room. So the coins is one of them, and actually the pickups. Because right now the pickups are about the size that the player will need them. So Yeah, breakable wall, I can leave that in there. Hidden guy, AI obstacle, boost pads. Boost pads will also be scalable. So when you're doing this, think of which elements you might want to, when you're making your rooms, try to think of which elements you might want to scale up or scale down. And those are the ones, I mean, in one go. And those are the elements that should go into your room. The elements that you don't want to scale when you're like kind of rearranging your room, those should stay outside of the room. All right, so these coins, all of these things need to be dropped back outside. Destructible wall is good. Blitz enemies should also be outside of the room. So enemies, pickups, and stuff like that should have stayed outside of the room. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly grab these and drop them back out. A rotating blade, I guess I could leave that one in. Spawn group, it doesn't really matter because I don't think it's gonna spawn the enemies any larger. Actually I haven't tested that yet though, so I could be wrong. And the exit level, I think we're gonna leave that in there. Breakable wall, destructible environment. So mostly environmental stuff. You want to leave in the room. The rest of this stuff we're going to drop it back outside. Yeah. All right, cool. Now that should work. So now when I scale my room, no matter what I do to my room, my coins and stuff should stay the same size. Yay! Okay, and this gives us lots of versatility for what we can do with rooms. All right, so we have one room, and then we can take our. What I tend to do is I like to take my other elements that are not going to be inside of the room, the things that are not UI, and I tend to put them into different categories. So, for example, anything that's kind of like a collectible or a pickup or like coins, power ups, and stuff like that, they're going to go into another empty game object. Right, so I'm gonna create another empty, and I'm gonna put I could just put ouch. Um, put pickups. Yeah, pickups. Okay, so I mean, I'm usually all right with doing this kind of stuff. It's like doing this kind of stuff and explaining why I'm doing this stuff on Twitch is kind of different though. So all the pickups are gonna go in here. Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. Alright, so this will go into pickups. Alright, my little pickups container. So if you'll notice, I'm just kind of compartmentalizing everything and putting them into different containers. And so the next container that I'm going to need will be an enemy container. So this will be my, damn it, my enemies. Enemies. Okay, and this will clean it up pretty nicely. And like I said, a lot of these, if you'll notice, a lot of these are not prefabs at the moment. So a lot of these elements, we're kind of just designing them right now, and we're going to wind up getting rid of, deleting a lot of them from the scene after we turn them into prefabs anyway. So this will be our flying enemy, our stalking enemy, sniper, blitz enemy. So I'll drop these guys in here. And any other enemies? Yeah, this guy. Get in there. Alright, so things that are outside of the room, we have our player, we have our cursor canvas, we basically have our player, we have our UI stuff, we have our dialogue manager, our transition canvas, our second cursor, which I'm kind of wondering if I need to leave that in there. Hold on, let me check. I have two cursors, and I'll explain why in a little bit here in my cursor canvas. Okay, yeah, this other cursor, I'm just going to hide this one right now because I think I was using it for something. But one of our attacks actually had a targeting cursor, so that will switch between it, between the normal pink triangle that you're seeing here and when a special attack is called. Alright, so we'll leave that out. So UI elements, stay outside of the room. Dialogue elements, stay outside of the room. Transition, outside of the room. Pop-up dialogues will be outside of the room. Then for the room, we have all of our furniture, our walls, and stuff like that. For our pickups, that's in a separate container, and our enemies are in another container. All right, and this kind of cleans up everything at the moment. Alright, so now what we're ready to do is, like, if we need to scale stuff, you know, we can go ahead and just, like, start scaling it. We can just, like, click on these three things, and then we can kind of scale them all uniformly. And that will, you know, in relation to the player, the player will, like, stay the same size, basically. Alright, cool. So, that was a long-ass explanation for just how to, like, build a room, but I'm kind of, like, just showing you, like, how I'm doing it, in order to build rooms quickly. Alright, and if we really wanted to, we could go ahead and like drop all of these into like one thing, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. Alright, so we've got this brown square, we've got all of these elements in here. Our spawners as well are also inside of the room. So I think I'm going to go ahead and drag my spawners on top. Now, one thing that I tend to do with my spawn group is I have spawners that are local to the environment, and I also create spawn groups that are actually attached to the camera. I did put a camera controller on here to follow the player around, so I'll go ahead and demonstrate that very quickly. And I did that using Cinema Machine, Cinema Machine. Usually I code my own like camera follow script, but that's for 2D platformers. But you know, now that I know what Cinema Machine is, it just doesn't make any sense for me to spend time coding a camera follow controller. So if you notice, the camera's kind of following this guy, right? And you can you get out of the room? No, you need to go on a diet. Anyway, so yeah, he can't get out of the room right now. But if you'll notice, the camera is kind of like following him wherever he goes. He can still pick up his coins and, you know, have a good time, you know, with no enemies harassing him at the moment. Yeah. So we've got that set up. So what I tend to do, like with some of the spawners, I will actually create a spawn group to attach to the camera that actually follows the player around, so that it's not going to stay localized to the room. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So in order to do that, I'm going to kind of cheat, and I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to duplicate this spawn group. And I'm going to drag this outside of the room. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this into my main camera. Now, why would I want to drag this to my main camera? Well, like, I'm going to put this as maybe... you can name this whatever you want, but I might put this as flying enemy spawn. Yeah, flying enemy spawn, right? So this way I can actually have enemies that can continue to attack the player regardless of whether he's in a certain environment, or he or she is in a certain environment or not. As a matter of fact, in this game, the main character is a she, I think. Alright, so, and the way that this works is, right now I'm going to turn this spawn group off, and I'm going to go into the room, and I'm going to turn this spawn group. Okay, this spawn group is already on. Alright, and so, yeah, let's go ahead and play. Alright, and like, nothing's happening. Our player is just happily kind of out and about, minding his own business. There should be at least one guy coming. Oh, that's right, I turned him off. Give me a second. Spawn group, hello. Okay, so spawn group here. Flying enemy 2. Where are you? Yeah, that's what thing. Yeah, my mouse is a little bit messed up right now. Give me a second. Alright, so, that's right. I only have him in here. Give me a second. Where is your prefab? Overrides. Oh, okay, that's why. Ah, that's what that dude was down there for. Because I gave him a mini map. So I gave him a mini map icon. So I turned him off because of that. So I need to go down here and kind of find his. Where are you? Flying enemy 2. You still have the mini map attached to you? Yeah, I think he does. Let me make sure about that right quick. Yeah, come on. Okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's why he wasn't spawning, because he wasn't enabled. All right, so yeah, this is what happens when you're working on a project and you have to like take a couple days off, and you can't really do anything. You just kind of forget what you're freaking working on. All right, so all right, so now like this guy should be working. So we got our flying enemy 2. This red dot, I'll explain what that is later. Like so actually, like I guess I'll go ahead and explain now. This dot is for a mini map that I created, so that's why it's called it's basically his mini map icon. So you got a physical body mini map icon. This will not show up in the scene when I'm playing it, because this will actually go to. Yeah, well, this time I had to take time off from due to COVID, so like I was on lockdown. I couldn't do anything because my wife and my kids needed my workspace. So I'm just like, what do I do? So I'm surprised you're still watching this. Thank you. I'm gonna get to the interesting stuff later. I'm just kind of like getting back to what I was doing before. So, all right. So here's this red dot is a mini map icon. So when I play the game, you're going to notice that oh, you actually taking months off from your project is a really good idea. And don't let anybody, if you're not into working on your project, like don't force it, because you're just gonna wind up, like you might feel bad, or you might feel like you're being lazy or something like that. But that is your brain telling you that you need to kind of like take a break and chill for a little bit. Alright, so if you notice, we have these like enemies that are kind of spawning. Oh, that's one of my secret guys that I was gonna like expose later. And he has a lot of enemies. He got no weapons, so he's gonna die soon. I mean, they're just gonna rack up a body count on him. So he's got like no way to defend himself. But these are all the enemies that are kind of spawning from those spawn points, right? Now, you'll notice that they don't have a red dot on them at the moment, and that's because you are not going to see this red dot in the scene, because that is for the mini map. So I did implement a mini map into, yeah, falling into the trap of wanting to rewrite the whole thing. Um, like actually, what I recommend, if you get into a place where you want to rewrite the whole thing, which happens to me all the time, I don't really recommend scrapping your current project and starting from scratch. What I recommend is like actually just making a copy of it, just making a copy of the whole project, and then like just play around with it for like a weekend. So make a copy of it, like start like working on it in a completely new project, so that you don't ruin your current one. And then like just play around with it on the weekend and see if you can start implementing or like changing some stuff. And then like that'll give you kind of like A/B test, to see which one you like the best. Hmm. But there have been times when I'm like, man, I should just rewrite this whole thing and like rethink about everything, and this kind of sucks. And then like after I start working on my other version, I'm like, actually the first one was better. But a few times I've kind of overwritten my previous projects, you know. And I haven't really finished so many projects in Unity. Like for iOS, I did and for my Flash action script projects, I did. But like for a lot of the, yeah, that's a natural thing for like new game programmers and like stuff like that. I'm not new at game programming, but my at game design, but I am kind of new at Unity and like coming up with big projects, big game projects on my own. So comics and novels I've done before. Like I've built like Flash action script games for like education. I've built like some games for like for iOS, but for Unity, like being a one man team, and thinking of like a whole scenario and stuff like that, it's kind of a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that people don't realize about game programming is that it takes a long freaking time. So when you say that, I'm gonna make a game, for some reason, everybody thinks that shit is gonna be out like next week. It's like poof, there it is, which doesn't realistically happen. So people who are actually like game designers and stuff like they know that, and your thinking is correct. You are going to go through iterations. So the fact that you do get to a point that you want to rewrite means is actually a good thing because that means that you're not so focused on like going in one direction. That means that you're taking a break in your brain to say, wait a minute, can I make this better? Right? And sometimes that you can make it better. Sometimes like what you're doing is good enough, you just don't realize it until you've tried something else. So either way, like, you have to try other things and you have to take a break. If you like get so obsessed with like, I just have to complete the project, then number one, it's not fun anymore. And number two, like you're just like putting a lot of stress on yourself. And three, you get like tunnel vision. And that's when you start I think that's when you start making a lot of other mistakes. All right. So like about back to this red dot. So you saw like the spawn points, right? With these enemies like just coming after the player who was completely defenseless and died. Um, what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you the mini map. So if I can find my mini map, let's see, where's my mini map at? Dialog Manager UI. Is that under mini? I spelled mini map wrong. Mini mask window. All right, there we go. So yeah, that's under my UI. Actually, I was gonna actually add a button toggle to that. All right. So here's my mini map in the corner, and that's why you're seeing like this red dot. Yeah. So I used to like doing mobile apps. But then I got tired of Apple just kind of switching device models and sizes and having to think about um, all of those changes. So that's why I went to Unity, just because I'm a one man development team, so I would be like in the middle of a good like game idea or a good apply, and then Apple would be like, guess what? We're releasing the iPhone 8 and the screen size is totally different, and you have to do this and this and this, and it just kind of messed me up. So and I just got tired of dealing with all of that. So all right. So anyway, like if you'll notice, like I've got this blue thing here, which is the building or the thing that we can kind of blow up, and these red dots moving toward me. You're not seeing the red dots here. You're seeing the red dots here on the mini map. So that's why that's just something I added on a whim. It's probably not even necessary for this game, but I thought like since I couldn't really record, I just kind of put it in there anyway, just for fun, just to do something. All right. So yeah, so this game does have a mini map, which is in the UI, which is sitting outside of our room. All right, and I'm gonna turn the UI. I guess I'll leave it there. It's not really doing anything. All right. So back to what we were doing with the room. So, right, room, enemies, pickups, all of this is good. So yeah, let's go ahead and start fleshing out our level again. All right. So we're gonna leave all of these elements in here at the moment, and we've got everything kind of removed that we don't need. I have my flying enemy spawn here. So this one is attached to the camera. I am going to go ahead and probably reactivate the bomb though. So let me go ahead and reactivate my pickup so I can blow that. Where are you? Bomb pickup. Yeah, so I'm going to reactivate this one. Yeah, just so like I could show you why I've got like the spawner attached to the camera. And then we're gonna get into the artwork. So just like I really wanted to get into the artwork, but I think I've done so much random stuff on this since the last video that I didn't explain that I kind of feel like I owe it to people to explain a little bit. All right, so this bomb can actually kill a lot of enemies, by the way. So I can activate it by hitting B, and it boom. So it does do damage to wall, or do damage to doors and stuff like that. But if you'll notice, I'm outside of the room, and like right now we got nothing. So I do have the enemies from the room chasing me, but if I killed all the enemies in the room, then I would kind of have free reign of this whole zone. So that's why I've added this extra spawner to the camera. And right now you'll notice that this spawner is not activated. So I'll go ahead and activate this one. And for this spawner, actually I'm going to go ahead and center it right here. And I'm going to leave it sitting outside of the room. And I'm going to increase my spawn points. Or actually, maybe not increase them, but just kind of move them around a little bit. So I'll move them around where the camera is at. So maybe I'll put a spawner here, and then like I might move this guy over here, and I might move this guy. Yeah, move him in a triangle right there. And we've got, so the spawn points, I can like increase this spawn point count to as many as I want. But with the enemy spawn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this enemy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and prefab another one of these guys. So, hey, enemies, which one of you guys want to become a prefab? I do. It doesn't matter because they're all boxes anyway. But I think I'm going to use Sniper, or Stalking Enemy, like the main Stalking Enemy. I'm going to turn him on. And then I'm going to, before I finish with this guy, what I need to do is I'm going to take this minimap icon, and I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to duplicate this minimap icon, and I'm going to drag it onto this Stalking Enemy. That way the minimap can see him coming. So we're going to change the circle of this one, the circle color of this one, to just something stupid, but not that stupid, not yellow. Like, all right, so we're gonna change this to here, and we're gonna have to like change the location. So this is right now the position is still on the flying enemy, so it's like 93 points down. So we're just gonna zero this guy out to where it's sitting on top of the actual enemy that we're going to have chase the player. Alright, and do I need to add another script to this guy? Nah, we're good. Alright, so this is going to be our Stalking Enemy. So the Stalking Enemy is the one that just kind of like walks up on the player and like, you know, will eventually try to like probably stab him. But he does have a stopping distance where he could shoot at the player as well. So this will be the other... Actually, I might not want to do this guy specifically. When I'm first testing, I don't necessarily prefab the original one, so I'll go ahead and actually drag this one down here. Because I might want to make changes to this guy, so I think I'm going to leave him as he is, and use Stalking Enemy 1 here. And then same thing for the minimap icon, though I do want this sitting right on top. Right there. Okay, so Stalking Enemy 1. And I'm going to make a prefab out of this guy. Because, like I said, we're going to be deleting most of these from the scene. So, Stalking Enemy 1, we'll put him in the prefabs here. Alright, so now this guy can chase the player legitimately. And have fun doing it. And I think I'm going to turn his color into, like, the standard evil red. Damn, not that evil. Like, yeah, turn him into red here. Alright, there we go. So now, what I'm going to do, since we've made a prefab out of the Stalking Enemy 1, I'm going to go back up into my spawner, my flying enemy spawn, and my flying enemy spawn will be these green guys. I think I'm going to leave them as the green guys. I'm going to go into my room, my localized, I guess, spawner. And that is in the room in my spawn group. And then instead of using Flying Enemy 2, I'm going to use this Stalking Enemy, which I could just type up in here to save some. Stalking Enemy 1. Alright. And this will be the local enemy that stays inside of the room. Well, mostly stays inside of the room. And doesn't really chase the player outside if they can't get out. If they can't go through a if they can't get through the door, basically. And this guy will also be like a stalking enemy as well. All right, yeah, cool. So let's see. And what I'll do for this group, I'll put like a maybe room enemy. Of course, these guys can go outside of the room, but just for the sake of this, I'm just gonna rename them room enemy. And then I'm going to change the color of their icon. So when I say change the color of their icons, I'm gonna be changing the color of the spawn points. So this helps me tell. No, this will help me tell which enemies are being spawned. So I might have aerial enemies, I might have ground enemies. So I tend to group those into different colors. So this will be, if it's red, basically it's a ground-based enemy. If it's green, that means that something's flying at me. And these colors can be indicated on the mini-map as well. So as a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to switch this flying enemies mini-map color to match his kind of default color. So we should see a green circle and an orange circle coming at us, on the mini-map now. All right. So, and I'm gonna put like a little bit of a, maybe duplicate this one. These squares are like for the blue squares are like for buildings anyway. So I'm gonna take this destructible wall, and I'm going to like just kind of duplicate this right here, just to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. All right, so there we go. So now when I play, pay attention to the mini map over here. Yeah. By the way, if you have your game projects, I'm kind of interested in checking those out. So once I get a little bit further in this game, like I'm going to actually start playing other games. All right. So here's our enemy. All right. So we got these guys. So now, if you'll notice, the player can get stuck over here. All right. So I've got my bomb. So let me go ahead and gather these guys up again. This guy isn't moving because he's got a range on him. So let me grab my bomb over here. And let me place my bomb. Alright. And the bomb range on this is actually pretty good. Boom. That was beautiful. Alright. So I've got these guys. And some of them, could probably get stuck in this room, right? But if you'll notice, once I'm outside of the room, I should still be getting attacked by something, right? And I should still have enemies that are going to be able to approach me. Actually, I didn't kill all of those guys, so that's a problem. Oh, you can't see them because the range on them is kind of long, that's why. So they actually have a long stopping distance away from me. Alright, so I'll just go in here and change the stopping distance. So, oh, wait a minute. You don't have a stopping distance. Oh, you don't have a speed. That's your problem. So, that's why he's just sitting there chilling for no reason. So I'm going to give him a speed of 2. And a stopping distance of 2 as well. Maybe stopping distance of 1. And health, I haven't really done so much for health on these guys. Maybe I'll give him max health of max health of 5 right now. And the damage that he would do if he bumps into me would be something like 1. So I've programmed all of this stuff already. But if you take a break from a project for long enough, and you don't make notes, you just kind of forget what you did. So yeah, all right. So now this guy is able to chase me and do damage to me. So if once I make it outside of this room, then you'll notice that I should have other enemies that are also attacking me from these points up here. And I think I'm spending way too much time on this particular explanation. So, because and I'm doing that because I have to figure out exactly what I did during the break, because I was just really doing random stuff to like kind of well, maybe I should add this until I can figure out like when I can stream again. But when I like when my kids are stuck at home for like homeschool, and I mean for online courses, I have to be like really quiet. I can't really do too much. Oh, that did not take out the boxes. So I'm kind of stuck here. Well, we should see some red enemies trying to maybe even like get in here if I survive long enough, but I didn't. And you know what? It's not really that important. So I was just showing you like that I do have spawning points. So and like trying to explain why I attached this one to the camera. So anyways, if it's attached to the camera, it's gonna follow me outside of the room. If my spawning points are inside of the room, then once I leave the room, I can basically kind of escape these enemies. That's it. Alright, so now let's get on to what we were actually going to do, which is adding graphics, right? Um, I'm going to actually go take a break and rewarm my coffee right quick. So hold on. I'll stop this stream and then I'll jump back on. And I also have to kind of make sure that my kids are have taken a bath and are getting ready for bed because they still have school tomorrow, right? And I don't hear them taking a bath. I hear them downstairs playing Fortnite. So, so Daddy's got to go do his job right quick. So give me a second and I'll be back in a little bit. I still hope that I see you on Bad Cop because I'll be doing more interesting stuff when I come back. By the way, so